Risk. Experiencing financial risk is inevitable when investing in the financial markets. It's just part of the game. However, risk is not always a bad thing. In the context of a portfolio, risky stocks can balance other investments and actually make the entire portfolio more secure. The key to unlocking risk, however, is figuring out how to make it work in your favor. You must lose a fly to catch a trout. George Herbert. We've all at one point or another have heard the age-old adage, without risk, there is no reward. So let's explore what exactly that means for investors. Systematic risk. Financial risk can be broken down into two types: systematic risk, unsystematic risk. Systematic risk, also known as undiversifiable risk, is risk that affects every stock in the stock market and cannot be avoided by diversification. Here's an example. Mike invests $1,000 in Google Inc. About a week later, the stock market plummets 500 points due to recession, and his investment suffers a loss as a result. Mike's not too happy about this, and for the next month, the market doesn't recover. There's no amount of financial diversification that can overcome this problem. Therefore, it's systematic and affects everything. Notice how the stock market plummeted in 2008. This drop affected every stock out there, and no amount of diversification could have alleviated the effect of this drop. In contrast to systematic risk, unsystematic risk, also known as diversifiable risk, is company or industry-specific risk that is inherent in each investment. This type of risk can be alleviated through diversification, investing in different stocks that are not related to one another. The idea is that when one stock dips, the other stocks in a diverse portfolio will avoid being dragged down with it. It follows the familiar saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Using our previous example, let's take Mike's $1,000 investment in Google Inc. The day after investing his money in the company, he reads in the daily newspaper that the current CEO of Google resigns. This concerns investors because that particular CEO is the person who made Google successful, and now he's gone. As a result, his investment plummets. Although this is bad for Mike's investment in Google, his other investments shouldn't be affected. How does risk help your portfolio? The main takeaway: there is reward for bearing risk. For many investments, the more risk there is associated with that security, the greater the possible return. But let's not forget the same thing is true for a potential loss. It is only being bold that you get anywhere. If you are a risk taker, then the art is to protect the downside. Richard Branson. So don't be afraid of risk. There's always some degree of risk present in every investment you make. At the same time, by avoiding or minimizing specific types of risk, you can keep temporary hiccups in the economy or financial markets from decreasing your portfolio value.